Hello students, myself Dr. Dilip Pipada, Associate Professor in Economics, SMB Government PG College, Nadwara. Today in this video we will discuss a topic from microeconomic theory, and it's a very important topic. The name of the topic is Theory of Demand and Supply. In microeconomic theory of demand and supply is very important, and we are getting question in every exam from the demand and supply. Today in this video we will discuss what is law of demand, and later we will discuss what is the elasticity of demand. The very first unit, that is law of demand and the elasticity of demand. After going through this chapter, we will be able to explain what is the meaning of the demand. The student, all of you will be able to explain the meaning of demand and the things which affect the demand. You will be now describe the determinants of the demand. Today in this video we will discuss what is the demand, what is the meaning of demand, and what is the determinants of demand. In next video we will explain what is the demand function, what is the law of demand, and what is extension of the demand, what is the contraction of the demand, what is increase in the demand, what is decrease in demand, what is demand schedule, what is individual demand schedule, what is market demand schedule, etc. Then finally we will having the discussion what is the elasticity of demand, what is the demand curve and shift of the demand curve. Then types of the demand we will discuss: price demand, cross demand, and income demand. Later we will discuss the elasticity of the price demand, elasticity of the cross demand, and the income demand, and the things which having effect on the elasticity of demand. Then we will discuss on the supply also, what is the supply and what is the elasticity of supply. So after going through these all videos which is related to the law of demand and supply, we will now so many things related to this topic. So the very first we will discuss what is demand. Suppose A seller is over there and B seller, both are the partner. A is suppose A is Tanish Jain and B is Shreyans Jain. One is Tanish and second one is Shreyans. Both are the partner and they are selling the tea. Suppose Shreyans Jain is saying that we should enter in the market of the green tea. Then they have to discuss what is the volume of the green tea, how it will affect on the demand for the normal tea which is prepared by the milk, what will be effect on the demand for the coffee, and what will be effect for the cold drink, what effect on the fresh juice. So the demand for the green tea depend on so many things. What will be the price, how much quantity we will produce, which taste, so many taste of the green tea may be having ginger flavor, may be having so many flavors is over there. So whenever a producer start any kind of the production, the very first he have to decide what to produce, to whom to produce, how to produce, which method in the production should be used, what will be the market, who will our competitor, what from where we will get raw material, what will be the packing material, how our marketing chain will be work, who will, so many questions arise when a business starts. Okay, so to solve this all these questions, a sellers have to discuss which size of the plant required, in which market we will enter, what we will produce, with which method we will produce. There are so many methods. They may be having capital incentive technique, they may be having labor based technologies over there. So the very first, these all things, very first discuss, then a producer will start a production. So the very first things is this, that what is the demand? Their demand contains three things. Demand contains three things. The very first, wish. Second is need. Third is demand. If we ask from a layman what is demand, he can't differentiate what is wish, what is need, and what is demand. But there are the little difference between this, which is the very first we will discuss. What is wish? Wishes are unlimited. There are so many wishes. If we will satisfy one wish, it will create another one wish. Wish doesn't require anything. Suppose you are passing through from a very big bungalow. You may be wish, if I may be owner of this bungalow. No problem at all. Because wish doesn't require anything. You are not having a single penny in your pocket, and you may be having the wish to purchase a helicopter. You may be having the wish to purchase a jet aeroplane. Because wishes doesn't require anything. If you are walking on the road, you may be having the wish that I maybe have the honor of this road. If you see a very good car, you may be having a wish that if I may be honor of this car. It means wishes require nothing to be done. But the wish will convert into demand, into need. When our wish will be converted into need, it means the very first, wishes doesn't require anything. And wishes are unlimited. We may be having wish, if we are going to a sweet shop, we may be having wish, I can purchase, if I can purchase all these sweets. If you go to Audi showroom, you may be having wish, I can purchase all the cars. Wishes doesn't require anything behind it. But our wish will convert into need. When our wish will convert into need, when we are having wish plus source plus ready to expand. Already we have discussed that wishes are unlimited. We doesn't require anything behind the wishes. Our wish will converted into need when we have the wish and we have the source. Source means whatever we have wishes, we have the source to satisfy that wishes. Suppose my wish to eat samosa and I have 20 rupees note. Then I have the wish, I have the source to purchase that samosa. Some wishes haven't any source. Like if I am planning, I wish that I am to purchase a jet aeroplane, but I haven't such kind of the money. It means for that wish I haven't any source. But some of the wish which I have the source. Suppose I am planning to purchase a new t-shirt. I have the money. I have 1,000 rupees in my pocket. So it means I have the source. So some wishes haven't the source, but some wishes have the source. So that wishes for which we have the source may be converted into need. Because need contains three things. One is wish, second one is source, and third is ready to expand that source. Suppose my wish is to purchase a samosa. I have the source to purchase the samosa because I have the 20 rupees, and I am ready to expand that 20 rupees. Then the wish of my wish to purchase of samosa converted the need. It means the wish for the samosa will convert into need, because for that wish I have the source and I am ready to expand that source. Suppose my wish, my wish to purchase 2 new shades, and one shade contains cost of 1,000 rupees. I have 2,000 rupees. It means I have the wish to purchase two shirt. I have the source to purchase that source. And if I am ready to expend that money to purchase the source, then the wish of my child converted into the need of child. Then I will say that I am in need of two new child. Okay? It means the wishes are unlimited, but the need have some limitation. Because some wishes we are not having the source. Some wishes we are having the source, but we are not having courage to expand the source. Sometimes we have the wish, we have the source, but we are not having the courage to expand that source. Then we will say that our wish will not convert it into the demand. Suppose a miser man have a wish to purchase a new car. He have the wish. He have the lot of sources because he is so miser. He is not expanding the money. So he is already having a lot of money. So he have the wish. He have the source, and he is. But what the problem is? He is not ready to expand. If he is ready to expand, then his wish will be converted into the need. So the difference need is wish plus source plus ready to expand. If I am saying that I want to purchase a new bike, it means I have the wish to purchase a new bike. I am having 2 lakh rupees in my bank account. It means I have the source for that, and if I am ready to expend that money to purchase a new bullet motorcycle, it means now the wish of my bullet motorcycle converted to the need, and I will say that I need a bullet motorcycle. But need is also not a demand, because the demand contains 5 values. Demand required 5 things. What? First is need. Need means 3 items. Demand. For demand we are having wish, we should having source, we should having ready to expand. Plus 2 things more. Fixed time and fixed price. The 2 things we have to add. Then demand. What is the demand? Demand is quantity demanded on a fixed time, on a fixed period of time, on a fixed price. That is called demand. It means first one, the wish contains, wish doesn't require anything, but wish convert into need when we have wish, we have source, and we are ready to expand. Sometimes we have the wish, we have the source, we are ready to expand, but sometimes due to the not price fix, we can't purchase. Suppose I went to purchase a new jeans. I was having the wish to purchase a new jeans. I am having the money 2,000 rupees, and I went to shop to purchase a new jeans. It means I am ready to pay that. I am ready to expand that money to purchase a new jeans. But the jeans seller was saying that this jeans cost is 2,500 rupees, but I am not ready to pay more than 2,000 rupees for that jeans. So the price is not fixed. So my need not converted into the demand. The demand, when the demand will be, when we are having the fixed time also and fixed price also, then we will having the demand. So what is the demand? Demand is quantity demanded on a fixed price on a fixed period of time. That is quantity, that is demand. So sometimes the time will not fix, sometimes the price will not fix. So the demand have more. Demand wishes are more, need have some limitation, and demand also have limitation, because demand required 5 things. The very first things we will have in the discussion, the wish doesn't require anything. It means you may be having the money or you may not be having the money, you can having the wish. So the wish doesn't require anything, but wish will converted into the need when we are having wish plus source. Source means money plus ready to expend. This is courage. This required courage. Then demand. Demand required 5 things. The very first, wish plus source plus ready to expend plus fixed price. Price should be fixed. And fixed time. Then it will be demand. That's why I am saying that wishes have more, need are less than wishes, and demand are less than wishes. So this is wish, this is need, and this is demand. So the very first thing, what is the demand? Demand is quantity demanded on a fixed price on a fixed period of time. That is called demand. The quantity demand is always expected on a given price, on a different price and different quantities, commonly commodity and the general demand. Second one, the quantity demand is a full flow, because in a certain period we demand different. On a fixed point of time, demand is over there, we can say it's a stock, but in the reality we are having so many kind of the demand on different time. We are having different demand, so we will say the demand is flow. Now in this video we will discuss the factors what determines demand, determinants of demand. It means which things which decide the demand, which affect the demand. We will discuss on this. The very first, the determinant of demand, that is price. Price have the negative relationship with the demand. If you will say, suppose price of the commodity, when the price of apple is 200 rupees kg, 100 rupees kg, 100 rupees kg and 60 rupees kg. So the demand when 200 rupees kg, we are having 1 kg, we are having 5 kg, we are having 10 kg, we are having maybe 15 kg. It means what is the demand? The very first demand is depend on the price. If price of a commodity will increase, then the demand for that commodity will decrease. If the price of commodity decreases, then the demand for that commodity also increases. It means the price have the positive negative relation. If price will increase, the demand will decrease. If the price will decrease, then the demand will increase. So we are having negative relation, because this symbol is up, this symbol is down, this symbol is down, this symbol is up. The price is up, the demand will down, the price will down, and demand will up. So there is a negative relationship. So the very first determinant of the demand is the price of the commodity, and generally there is an inverse relationship between the price of a commodity and the demand. When the price of the commodity will increase, then the demand for that commodity will decrease. If the price of a commodity will decrease, then the demand for that commodity will increase. In very beginning, if you are see that the peanut is over there, that is called mutter. When the price of the mutter is 200 rupees kg, we are having a less, we demand less amount of the peanuts. So when peanuts 200 rupees kg is over there, we require only pav kg, half kg. When 100 rupees kg, we may be having 1 kg. When 60 rupees kg, we may be having 2 kg in monthly demand. When 40 rupees kg, we are having 5 kg, and when 20 rupees kg, we may be having 10 kg per month. It means when the price of a commodity will increase, then the demand for the commodity will decrease, and the price of commodity will decrease, then the demand for that commodity will also increase. So we will say the very first determinant of the demand, that is price, and the price have the negative relationship with the demand. Second things, that is called price of the related goods. First one, we are having determinants of demand. So very first the price is over there. Second one, the price of the related goods. Price of the related goods. Sometimes our demand is also depend on the price of the related goods. There are two types of the related goods. One is substitute complementary goods. Second may be the substitute goods. Now we will discuss how price of the related goods effect on the demand. The very first you may be having, what is substitute goods? Substitute goods. The very first we should know what is the substitute goods. Substitute goods, that goods is called substitute goods that can be used instead of each other. We can drink coffee instead of tea, that is substitute. We can eat samosa instead of coffee, kachori, that is substitute. Pencil is the substitute of pen, t-shirt is the substitute of shirt, sandal is the substitute of shoes, rice is the substitute of chapati. There are so many substitutes you are having, so many substitutes available. The substitute of the samosa is kachori, mirch bada, etc. The substitute of pen is pencil. The substitute of car is motorcycle, scooter, bus, train. So many substitutes is available. The substitute of white color is red color, maybe green color, orange color, purple color. So many color that are the substitute. So sometimes the price of the substitute is also effect on the demand for the commodity. Suppose substitute goods is two substitute goods, tea and coffee. Here you can see when the price of tea is PT1, then the demand of coffee is less, because the price of tea is less. So everyone drink tea. No one are having the coffee, because suppose the price of tea is 5 rupees and price of coffee is 10 rupees. So the demand for the tea is 500 and demand for the coffee is suppose 50. Sometimes if the price of tea increases to PT to PT dash, suppose the tea seller increases the price of the tea is equal to 10 rupees. Now the price of the tea and price of the coffee are equal. Tea is also 10 rupees and coffee is also 10 rupees. So on 10 rupees, the price of tea 10 rupees, the demand for the coffee increases, because every one person is thinking that if the price of the tea and price of the coffee are equal, he like to purchase coffee more on the same rate of the tea and coffee. It means the price of tea affect the demand for the coffee. If the price of tea is high, then the demand for the coffee will high. If the price of tea less, so everyone will drink the tea, so the demand for the coffee will less. It means the price of the substitute also affect the demand for the commodity. Second one, if the goods are complementary goods, it means if we will purchase one goods, we have to purchase second one good also. We will say it's a complementary goods. Suppose car, if you are purchasing car, you have to purchase diesel or petrol also, because this is a complementary. One things you will purchase, you have to purchase another one things. If you are purchasing an ink pen, then you have to purchase ink also. That is also a complementary goods. You are purchasing shoes, then you have to purchase socks also. That is complementary. If you are purchasing a glove job right hand, you have to purchase the glove job left hand also, because this is the complementary. Complementary means we have to purchase two things equally. If we are purchasing one thing, then we have to purchase second one things also. Then we will say it's a complementary goods. So complementary goods like car and petrol. This is the complementary. Pen and ink. This is also complementary. Now the complementary goods also affect the demand for the commodity, because if price of petrol will increase, then demand for the car will decrease. If the price of petrol will decrease, then demand for the car will increase. So there is a negative relationship. When price of petrol is less, the selling of car is high. If price of petrol increases, then the demand for the car will decrease. It means the price of petrol affect the demand for the car. If price of petrol will increase, then demand for the car will decrease. If the price of petrol will decrease, then the demand for the car will increase. Similarly, there are so many complementary goods is over there, and that also affect the demand. We will later discuss for that in cross demand. We will discuss the complementary goods in very well also. Third one, income also effect on the demand. Third one, the income. Income have the positive relation and negative relation also. Something determinants of demand. Income is also a determinant of demand. If disposable income will increase, then the demand will also increase. If income will decrease, then the demand will also decrease. So if our income increases, then the demand will also increase. We will say it's a disposable income. If income will decrease, then demand will also decrease. So for normally, when our income is I1, the demand is Q1. If income increases to I1 to I2, the demand increases to Q2. So there is a positive relation between income and demand for the normal goods. But as far as the inferior goods is concerned, there is a negative relation. Generally, if our income will increase, then the demand will also increase. If income will decrease, then demand will also decrease. So we will say there is a positive relationship between the income and demand. But some things, some goods are like this. If we increase in income, we will purchase less. Like dalda ghee. When our income is high, we will purchase less dalda ghee. If your income is less, we will purchase more dalda ghee. So, in generally normal goods, income increases, the demand is also increases, income decreases, demand is also decreases. But in inferior goods, there is a negative relationship. For inferior goods, if income will high, we will purchase less inferior goods. But income is low, we purchase more inferior goods. So here some goods are income will increase, the demand may decrease, income may decrease, the demand may increase. There is a negative relation. So as far as the income is concerned, generally for the normal goods the income effect is positive. It means that income will increase, the demand for that commodity will increase. If income will decrease, demand for that commodity will decrease. For as far as the inferior goods is concerned, we will say that is given good may be having. That goods, when the person have lower income group, he will purchase unquality product. When income is low, he have to purchase bajra instead of wheat, dalda ghee instead of desi ghee. But when his income will increase, he will purchase less inferior goods, because if his income will increase, he will purchase more good normal goods instead of inferior goods. So we will say that if income also having effect on the demand, and it is also having the positive or the negative relation may be having. For the normal goods, it may be the positive relation, but if the inferior goods is over there, it may be having the negative effect. Third one, we can having disposable income of the consumer. Next one, the taste and preference. Taste and preference of consumer. The demand is also determined by the taste and preference of the consumer. Something in the taste of the consumer will purchase more. If something is not in taste of the consumer, he will purchase less. So for the taste, there is a positive relationship. When taste is T1, demand is Q1. When taste will increase, demand will increase. Similarly, habit also have the positive relation. Something is not in habit, we will purchase less. If something is in our habit, we will purchase more. In fashion also, if fashion is low, the demand will low. If fashion will high, then demand will also high. So we will say that taste, preference, fashion, climatic conditions, government policies also affect the demand. If something are in habit of the consumer to purchase, the demand will high. If something are in the taste, something are in taste of the consumer, demand for high. So if taste will increase, suppose we are having more taste for the pizza, then demand for the pizza will high. We are having less taste for the pizza, demand will low. If something is not in our habit, demand will low. If something in our habit, the demand will high. If someone are not in fashion, the demand will low. If fashion is increasing, then demand will high. So there is also positive relationship between this. So we will say that the demand is also depend on the taste and preference of the consumer. There are four kind of the effect on the demand. We will having the discussion on the taste and preference of the consumer. That may be called demonstration effect, Bedwakian effect, snob effect, Veblen effect. The very first we will discuss demonstration effect. What is demonstration effect? Generally, generally people demand over things because they never have the demand. That's why they demand. Whether they need or not doesn't matter. Our neighbor have the demand, we will purchase that thing. That is called demonstration effect. Sometimes we will say that something Virat Kohli is wearing that kind of the t-shirt, we are also purchasing that kind of the t-shirt. Our neighbor bought a new one mobile phone, we will also try to purchase that that type of the mobile phone. Suppose our neighbor having a new bullet motorcycle, we will also plan to purchase a bullet motorcycle. That is called demonstration effect. It means the consumer do not know whether he need or not, but his neighbor required this, that's why he required this. That is called demonstration effect. Seeing other one, we are also purchasing that same commodity. That is called demonstration effect. Second one is called Bedwagon effect. Second is Bedwagon effect. If something by and by something are for each and every person are using something, we will also purchase. When the mobile phone was very new, only few person were using the mobile, we were not purchasing the mobile. But nowadays every person have the smartphone. That's why we are also having the smartphone. We want also a smartphone because every person are using this same commodity. That is called Bedwagon effect. It means in general, in society, every person are having, using or consuming some commodity, we will also purchase that commodity. That is called Bedwagon effect. Third one, snob effect. In our society, some people are different from the whole society. They purchase the item when everyone is not purchasing. If everyone started purchasing, they will stop that purchasing. That is called snob effect. It means in our society, some person have the superiority complex. So when the peanuts is 100 rupees kg, they will purchase and prepare the matar sabji. But when the price of matar is 20 rupees kg, they will not purchase that matar and they will say, now that is not sweet peanuts, we purchase 100 rupees per kg. At that time the peanut was very sweet, but nowadays that is pake matar. It means some person in the society want to think that they are different from the whole society and they purchase the things when all the society is not purchasing and they stop purchasing the things when all the society is purchasing. That is called snob effect. Last one effect, that is called one more effect is over there, whichever we are to having the discussion. That is Veblen effect. for some things are having prestigious goods like gold, diamond, OD cars, Fortuner cars that have the Veblen effect. It means they think when the price of that product increases, the demand for that product increases. Because in our society, some person have the superlative complex and they want to purchase such of the things which the general public not having such kind of the things. That is called Veblen effect. They will purchase. All the car are similar. In all car we have 5 members can sit, but they will purchase the car cost 2 crore rupees. Why? Because of the Veblen effect. Because they want to see that I am the different from the society. In our nearby, so many people are affected from the Veblen effect and they want to show that they are different from the society. They will purchase the goods and services which have so dear, so they do not want to purchase cheap items which are used by the general public. That is called Veblen effect. Okay, so this is discussion of the test and preference of this. Next one, consumer expectation also determined on the demand. A consumer expectation. Consumer future expectation also having that demand. If consumer are feeling that something will, the price of a product will increase in future, he will demand for that product is more. Suppose the price of wheat is 2000 rupees per 100 kg, the quantity demanded is 5000 kg. The next day, the increase in 2200, the quantity demanded is 7000 per kg. Because the consumer is expecting that in future the price will increase, then he will demand on increasing price also, he will demand more. If consumer is thinking that in future the price of the commodity will decrease, then in decreasing also he will demand less. It can be seen in the share market. When price of a share is increasing, demand for that share will also increase. If price of the share is decreasing, then demand for that share will decrease. Because in increasing price, every person is thinking that in future also it will increase and we will earn profit. So in increasing price, the demand for that share will be high. If a price of the share is decreasing, the consumer will expect then in future also it will decrease and I will purchase when the price will be minimum. So the demand for that share will be decreases. So the consumer expectation also depend on the demand. It also determines the demand. Suppose like next one, if consumer are thinking that in future my income will increase, he will demand more. He will purchase scooter, car, house on loan because he is expecting that in future I will earn more money and I will pay my loan. So this is also the expectation also having the effect on the demand. If something price of a commodity in future, consumer feel that the price of commodity will increase, so in increasing price also he will purchase more. If the consumer are thinking that in future the price of the commodity will decrease, so in decreasing price also he will purchase less. Next, population also affect the demand. Population, if population will high, then demand will high. If population will low, the demand will low. So there is a positive relationship between the population and demand. As soon as the population is increasing, the demand will also increase. If the population will decrease, then demand will also decrease. So we will say that the population also having the relationship in size of population. There is a positive relationship between the population. The population is P1, then the demand is Q1. If population size of population increases, then the demand will also increase. There is a positive relationship between the population size of population. Second one, age distribution is also depend on the demand. Age of population. If age of the population more are 0 to 10 years, it means in population the child is more, then the demand for the toy will increase, demand for the ball will increase, demand for the cricket item will increase, demand for the football and volleyball will increase. If age of the population are more than 60 years, then demand for the walking stick will increase. If age of the population are in middle segment, then there will be different demand. So the age of population also affect on the demand. Next one, the income of the population, income distribution of the population. Third one, income distribution of the population also affect on the demand. If income, there is unequal income distribution, someone are having a lot of money and most of the population are not having the money. So if 5% of the persons are having 90% resources, yeah, suppose 80% resources, and 95% of the population having 20% resources, then the demand for the commodity will low, because 95% people not having the money to purchase goods and services. If the income distribution is equal, every person have the money, then the demand will high. If unequal is over there, then the demand will low. So the national income is also per capita income also having a per capita income is also affect the demand. If per capita income is high, then demand will high. Per capita income is low, then demand will low. Per capita income, if per capita income of a country is increasing, then the living standard of that population will increase, then the demand for that population will increase. If per capita income of a country is decreasing, then the living standard and demand for that population will decrease. Next one, the government policy also having the effect on the demand. If government want to increase the demand of a commodity, that commodity, the demand for that commodity will increase. If government impose the tax, suppose the government is not planning, government is not willing that the persons have use wine, cigarette, smoke, charas, ganja, then government will impose more tax on that commodity. So the price of that commodity will increase and demand for that commodity will decrease. If government is planning that every person should having own house, then the tax on the own house will decrease by the government. So the price of the house will decrease and the demand for the house will increase. Similarly, government is thinking that every person should having own vehicle. So the tax on the vehicle, the government may be decrease the tax on the vehicle. So the price of the vehicle will decrease and the demand for the vehicle will increase. So there is government policy also having. Next one, the credit facility and interest rate. Is also the credit facility and interest rate also affect on the demand. If there is a on very small interest rate, the credit is available, so people will bring more credit, so the demand will high. If the interest rate is high, so the credit will low and the demand will also low. So we will say these are the determinants of the demand. First one, the price is. Second one, the price of the related income. Next one, we were having the income of a consumer, taste and preference of consumer, in which we have discussed demonstration effect, bandwagon effect, snob effect, or Veblen effect. Next one, the size of population, age of the population, income distribution of the population, government policies. Next one, the knowledge of the consumer. If something in my knowledge, I will purchase. If something is not my knowledge, I will not purchase. So the knowledge of the consumer is also effect on the demand of the commodity. Sometimes we are seeing the regular interval, we are seeing the advertise of a commodity. We will demand for that commodity. If we are not seeing any kind of the advertise for the commodity, we will not purchase that commodity. So we will say the advertisement also having the determinants of the demand. If more ad is over there, the demand will high. If less ad is over there, the demand will low. So in this video, we have discussed what is demand and what the determinants of demand we have discussed. In next video, we will discuss what is demand function, what is law of demand and other things. Remain with us. Thank you.